don't know, it was weird, like, so...
Tynesha McCarty Roden was allegedly streaming on TikTok when she ran a red light and struck Darren Lucas.
I'm a lawyer, and I told y'all that Tyme was going to get charged for the crimes that she got charged with for unaliving Darren.
When people do the most, I do the analysis. Let's go. Today we're talking about a real-life tragedy involving a TikTok influencer, a fatal car crash, and the dangerous consequences of prioritizing social media over safety. This is not tea, and it's not gossip. This is an ongoing case involving a 43-year-old TikToker, Tyme, and the untimely death of 59-year-old Darren Lucas in Zion, Illinois. And what makes this case especially disturbing is that the fatal incident unfolded live on TikTok.
43-year-old Tyme, aka Tynesha, has been put into custody as of yesterday. Yesterday afternoon, they had got approval for their warrant to go and arrest her. Now, if you remember, she's the lady that was hosting that live stream when she took the life of Darren Lucas, 59 years old, as he was crossing the street.
I don't know, it was weird, like, so...
But let's talk facts. Prior to this incident, Tyme did general lifestyle content on TikTok, as well as home decor and self-care videos. She's also a published author. But on November 3rd, around 6 p.m., the fatal crash happened in north suburban Zion, Illinois. Police say the driver of a 2015 Ford Edge struck a pedestrian at the intersection. That driver was identified as Tynesha McCarty Roden, known online as Tyme. The pedestrian, who's been identified as 59-year-old Darren Lucas, was pronounced dead at the scene. At the time of the crash, Tyme was live streaming on TikTok, chatting and engaging with the viewers, and her 7-year-old grandchild was in the back seat while she was driving and streaming in real time. 14 viewers heard the impact and the immediate aftermath when Tyme hit a pedestrian walking across the street from work. Her grandchild's screams can be heard on the live stream recording. Did she even see the man before she hit him? I don't know, but she did run a red light. And in total shock, you can hear Tyme repeatedly dropping F-bombs right before saying, "I hit somebody." And this was not recreated later. This happened in real time. Following an investigation, Tyme was arrested over a month later on December 23rd, just 2 days before the Christmas holiday.
Now, she had an attorney since the beginning stages of this investigation, so they let the attorney know yesterday that they had been approved to go ahead and get a warrant for her to come in to self-surrender herself. And he said, oh, well, she need about a week before then. And they was kind of like, absolutely not. We're going to go ahead and need her in here today. So they rode up to her house, and when they did, they said she was leaving with her bags, okay?
Now, I'm sure those packed bags look suspicious to the police, as in flight risk, but it was only 2 days before Christmas, one of the busiest travel times we have. A grand jury has indicted her on reckless homicide and aggravated use of a device. In Illinois, aggravated use of a device refers to using a phone or electronic device in a way that creates a substantial risk of serious injury or death. So she's facing significant penalties, including fines and potential prison time. But the exact sentence will depend heavily on the specifics surrounding the crash. If convicted, Tyme could be facing several years in prison. The live streaming and the pedestrian victim status could push the sentence into the enhanced Class 2 felony range. That's 3 to 14 years for the homicide itself, plus penalties for the device offense. ABC 7 Chicago News later reported that Tynesha was released on bond after a hearing that was held on December 26th. Yes, of course, she hired a lawyer.
The driver accused of killing a pedestrian while live streaming has been released from custody. Tynesha McCarty Roden was allegedly streaming on TikTok when she ran a red light and struck Darren Lucas. This happened back on November 3rd at Sheridan Road and 33rd Street in North Suburban Zion. McCarty Roden was released with conditions by a Lake County judge at today's preliminary hearing. She is facing several charges, including reckless homicide, and is due back in court on January 27th.
Police did confirm that Tanisha remained at the scene, and she also called 911. Now, we can't just gloss over those facts because they do matter to the courts, especially when considering pre-trial release and plea deal agreements that may be discussed later in this case. The conditions of her bond have not been made public, but TMZ obtained a copy of the court documents, and they reported that although Tyme is out of custody, there are specific conditions of her release. She has a curfew, she's barred from driving, and she can only use social media inside her home. Prosecutors argued that Tyme poses a threat to public safety, and they don't want her back on the streets until her next court date. While out on bond, Tyme is back posting on TikTok, but currently she's only using photos and music. Let's talk about accountability and insensitivity now. So after a man lost his life, after a child was heard screaming on the original live stream, Tyme went live again 3 days later for nearly 3 hours. She didn't show her face this time. She didn't address the accident. But let me tell you what she did say. On second thought, I'll let you hear it for yourself.
Hey, y'all already know me, right? So y'all know if my mind isn't in full capacity, it's hard for me to host lives. I won't really be here long. I won't be on live until my mind is on full capacity. So just allow me that, y'all, because I want y'all to have want y'all to be able to have the part of me, you know what I'm saying, where, I'm not distracted or anything like that. Yeah, my Cash App up there if y'all want to support while I'm on mental leave. I don't like asking y'all for shit. But if y'all find it in y'all heart, and y'all wanna support, my Cash App is right there.
She got online asking viewers for Cash App donations. Not for her legal fund, but because she was taking a mental health hiatus. And when the crash was mentioned, she said, y'all know what happened, but I'm not here to talk about that. Who has some new tea?
Yeah, T needs this encouragement more than you know. As well, she needs the support more than you know. If you cannot contribute anything financially to her CA, that is the first step. But other than that, do you wanna play some music? You wanna hear some mess?
Yeah, you can tell me what's been going on.
Now, let me be clear. I'm not denying anyone's need for mental health support. But this is about timing. It's about context and basic human decency. A man named Darren Lucas had just died because of her negligence and prioritization of social media over anything else. What people are reacting to is her dismissiveness, not her silence. There's a big difference between not being ready to speak and redirecting attention away from a death while asking for money. You see, Darren Lucas doesn't get a hiatus. His family doesn't get to log off and move on. Now, to be fair, Tyme did remain at the scene with Darren, and she did call 911. That matters. But accountability doesn't end there. She doesn't owe the internet a statement, but choosing to solicit donations while refusing to acknowledge a death is why this struck such a nerve. This is the dark side of influencer culture. When the live stream keeps going even when someone has lost their life. And that discomfort that people are feeling is not hate for Tyme, it's humanity saying this wasn't okay. This case should make all of us pause. We've gone from distracted driving to driving while engaging an audience, chasing validation, and ignoring real-world dangers and consequences. If you're driving, put the phone down. If you're live streaming, log off before you start driving. And if you have children in the car, nothing online is more important than their safety. This case with Tyme is ultimately going to get decided in a courtroom, not on TikTok or any other social media platform. I'll continue following the story and I'll bring updates as they happen. Rest in peace to Darren Lucas, and healing prayers to everyone impacted. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who can use this message. How much time do you think Tyme's gonna get? Will she do any prison time at all? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. We can continue the conversation there.